Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a trove of insights about an often overlooked extension of our homes, our decks.
Yeah, those outdoor spaces we love.
Exactly. And our mission is really to extract the essential nuggets of knowledge on why consistent deck care isn't just about, aesthetics,
Right.
but crucial for safety, longevity, and even property value, especially in climates like Vancouver's.
Definitely a big factor there.
We'll explore what makes a thorough inspection and how proactive steps can truly save you time, money, and frankly, a lot of worry.
Mm-hmm.
So let's unpack this. When we talk about our outdoor spaces, specifically decks, why is ongoing inspection and maintenance not just a good idea, but truly essential year-round?
It's almost funny, isn't it, how our decks, these vibrant extensions of our living space, often just fade into the background until they scream for attention.
Yeah, until something looks obviously wrong.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating here is how often we overlook them until a problem becomes really obvious.
Right.
So this raises an important question. Why does a deck demand continuous attention?
Okay.
Especially in wet climates like Vancouver's, annual inspections are critical. They don't just prevent long-term water damage. They actively address safety concerns before they escalate.
Before they get bad.
Yeah. For instance, that freeze-thaw cycle we get here,
Yeah.
it isn't just about ice. It causes microscopic water ingress to expand existing cracks by up to 200% over just one winter.
Wow, 200%. That's huge.
It turns minor issues into major structural threats surprisingly fast. So beyond safety, consistent care dramatically increases a deck's lifespan and, its curb appeal.
Right.
And it's not just for older decks either. Even newer installations can develop issues from shifting weather patterns, heavy furniture use, or maybe improper drainage.
Okay.
Small cracks or a bit of water pooling can go totally unnoticed and just expand, quietly leading to much bigger problems down the line.
That distinction between a small crack expanding by 200% and becoming a full structural issue is really impactful.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, beyond preventing those hidden dangers, what are the core benefits, the things that make this consistent upkeep one of the sort of smartest habits for homeowners, particularly for their long-term investment?
Well, the fundamental reasons for regular upkeep are really about smart asset protection and, honestly, peace of mind. You're actively safeguarding against long-term water damage, which, as we just said, is huge in a place like Vancouver. You're addressing any safety concerns early on, which minimizes risk, and you're significantly increasing the deck's lifespan.
Okay.
But beyond just the function, it genuinely boosts curb appeal. Some recent real estate data suggests a well-maintained deck can add up to maybe 8% to a property's resale value.
8%, that's significant.
It is. It's a pretty significant return on what's usually an annual maintenance investment. And yes, knowing your outdoor space is safe and looks fantastic, well, it genuinely gives you incredible peace of mind.
And it's not just for single-family homes, right? What about multi-unit properties like strata buildings, condo or townhouse complexes where common areas are jointly managed? They must have unique challenges when it comes to deck care.
Oh, absolutely they do. For property managers and strata buildings, regular checkups are essential. Neglecting even a single deck can become a significant liability for the entire complex.
I can imagine.
Proactive inspections help avoid tenant complaints. They prevent potential liability issues by making sure safety codes are met. And they ensure a high standard of safety and satisfaction for all residents across all the units. It truly is a smart move all around, both for property value and just collective well-being.
Understanding why this proactive approach is critical is one thing, but for homeowners actually doing this, what does that really translate into on the ground? What are the experts actually looking for when they conduct a comprehensive inspection?
Right, so a thorough inspection covers several key areas to guarantee both safety and durability. You're looking at the surface condition and wear, which can reveal surprisingly early signs of trouble.
Okay.
Then there's the structural integrity and railing security, which is, paramount. Waterproofing and caulking are critical. Fasteners, screws, hardware, all the bits holding it together.
The nuts and bolts.
Literally. And of course, any signs of mold, rot, or mildew.
Yeah.
Each of these elements serves a unique but interconnected function.
Interconnected? How so?
Well, for instance, caulking isn't just glue, right?
Yeah.
It's a crucial, flexible barrier. It has to accommodate thermal expansion and contraction.
Ah, okay.
And it prevents that capillary action that draws moisture into the deck's substructure. That's like a hidden enemy that can quietly rot joists from the inside out. So overlooking just one aspect can indeed lead to sort of cascading damage.
So it really is a chain reaction. And I imagine these checklists aren't one size fits all. They must vary.
Definitely not. These checklists can and absolutely should be customized, for specific climates and materials, whether you've got vinyl, composite, or natural wood.
Right. Different materials, different needs.
Exactly. And this customization ensures uniformity and targeted attention. It's especially important in multi-unit properties because it allows for consistent reporting and prioritization of repairs across many units.
Let's talk about the money-saving aspect for a minute. You mentioned proactive maintenance is kind of like an insurance policy for your outdoor space.
Yeah.
How does being proactive with deck inspection and upkeep actually save you money in the long run? How does it help avoid those big disruptive repairs that always seem to hit at the worst possible time?
It's really a classic cost-benefit analysis where being proactive always wins, often, dramatically. Waiting for problems to become visible almost always leads to higher repair costs and extended downtime.
Makes sense.
Think about it. Catching rusted fasteners, or maybe some soft deck boards, early on allows for simple, low-cost fixes. Often, it's not even the screw itself that's failing, but the wood around it. Yeah, it gets softened by unseen moisture, loses its grip, and suddenly a railing that seemed secure is actually unstable.
Okay, I see.
If you wait, those minor issues can easily necessitate full, expensive replacements or sometimes even a complete deck rebuild. Proactive upkeep is not only more affordable, but it's far less disruptive, making sure your outdoor space is always ready for you to use.
And for strata buildings, I guess this could be a real game changer for budgeting. It provides a predictability that's otherwise maybe impossible.
Precisely. In strata buildings, annual inspections make budget planning much, much easier because they reveal minor issues that can then be scheduled in phases, perhaps across multiple fiscal years.
Right, planned out.
This predictability is invaluable for property managers and councils. Deferred repairs, on the other hand, they always cost significantly more down the line and can even end up violating local building codes. That creates unexpected financial burdens and potential legal headaches. It's truly about strategic planning versus, emergency spending.
Okay, so beyond the subtle signs, what are the absolute red flags? The really obvious warnings that tell you, stop everything, my deck needs immediate professional attention, this isn't just cosmetic.
Yeah, there are some very clear warning signs that should scream for immediate professional help. If you see visible cracks or actual rotting wood, any water pooling or significant discoloration on the surface, loose screws, nails, or unstable railings, even just a slight wobble or maybe soft or spongy areas underfoot when you walk on it, it's definitely time to call in the pros.
Spongy is never good.
Never good on a deck. And what's often overlooked are the hidden dangers. Small problems often go unnoticed until someone trips or a railing completely fails. I actually remember one inspection where a homeowner was convinced a wobbly railing was just a loose screw. Turns out a forgotten leaky planter sitting nearby had completely rotted out the underlying joist. Total hidden damage. So if your deck feels uneven or looks different, especially after rainfall, it definitely warrants investigation.
And what about something that might seem just cosmetic, like discoloration or mold? Does that often point to deeper hidden dangers too?
Absolutely. Green or black patches, particularly if they're in shaded areas, are a definite red flag. They signal trapped moisture and critically, potentially rotting wood underneath. Mold is rarely just surface level.
Right, it hints at moisture issues.
Exactly. And most critically, any shifting or wobbly stairs or supports. Those need to be handled immediately. You never, ever want to wait for an accident to happen when structural instability is involved.
That makes total sense. Now, one aspect that sounds incredibly important, especially in places with a lot of rain like Vancouver, is this seam caulking and waterproofing. Why is this such a crucial component of deck maintenance?
Caulking is truly a deck's first, and often its most critical line of defense against moisture intrusion. It's what prevents leaks that can cause rot. It stops mold before it even has a chance to spread deep within the structure, and it directly protects the vinyl or composite finish of your deck.
So it's like the seal keeping everything safe.
It really is. Deck seams are just natural entry points for moisture. Once water gets in through those tiny gaps, it can seep below the surface and pretty quickly compromise the entire structure, potentially including the support beams. That's why annual recaulking is absolutely crucial for long-term durability.
And what about the actual waterproof membrane itself? Does that need attention too, beyond just the seams?
Yes, absolutely. The waterproof membranes themselves also deteriorate over time. Constant UV exposure, heavy use, or simply age can cause small holes or peeling that aren't immediately obvious.
Little weaknesses.
Exactly. And neglecting the seam caulking and the membrane can lead to visible swelling of the deck boards, maybe loose vinyl peeling off the surface, or even persistent mold odors. All those are signs indicating significant underlying damage and a compromised structure. It's an essential, often unseen layer of protection.
Okay, given all these factors, how often should someone really be getting their deck professionally inspected and maintained? Is there like a standard recommendation, or does it vary wildly?
Well, the standard recommendation is for a professional deck inspection once a year.
Once a year, okay.
However, additional maintenance might be required based on several variable factors. Its exposure to the local weather. Obviously, Vancouver has its unique challenges.
Right, the rain and sun cycle.
Exactly. Also, the decking material used, whether that's natural wood, vinyl, or composite, because they have different needs, and of course, the level of usage and foot traffic it actually receives.
So Vancouver's seasonal shifts really do push these materials to their limits then.
Precisely. Vancouver's seasonal changes, heavy rain in winter and spring, followed by summer sun causing significant expansion and contraction, that puts immense stress on materials. That relentless cycle makes yearly inspections essential.
Got it.
Also, wood decks typically demand more hands-on care than composite ones. They often require sanding or sealing every few years, in addition to the inspections.
Right, wood needs more love.
It does. And if your deck sees frequent use, think lively family BBQs, active pets running around, or heavy furniture that gets moved a lot, it's just more prone to surface damage and joint movement. That reinforces the need for regular checks and quick, small fixes.
So when a professional comes to do an inspection, what exactly is included in that service, and how do they translate their findings into tailored recommendations for someone trying to keep their deck in top shape?
Okay, so a comprehensive service should definitely include a full structural review, a detailed evaluation of the surface, seams, and railings, professional seam caulking and waterproofing if needed, and thorough wood rot and mold detection. They often use specialized moisture meters to find those hidden issues.
Technology helps.
It does. And beyond just identifying problems, good services provide genuine solutions. They should document every area inspected with clear reports, give you easy-to-understand explanations of what they find, and offer suggested timelines for action. The goal is always to educate you, the homeowner, so you can make informed decisions, not just hand you a list of repairs.
That shift from just problem spotting to providing tailored solutions sounds incredibly empowering for a homeowner. Do people ever get overwhelmed by the initial findings, though? And how do professionals help them prioritize the most critical repairs?
Oh, it's completely understandable to feel overwhelmed, especially when hidden problems suddenly surface. That's precisely why, beyond just identifying issues, good services provide tailored recommendations based on your deck's specific age, material, and its current condition.
Okay.
This includes preventive tips, for moisture and rot, material-specific care guidelines, and crucially, multi-phase repair planning if it's needed.
Multi-phase, so breaking it down.
Exactly. This phased approach allows you to tackle the most critical safety issues first, then budget and schedule less urgent repairs over time. It makes it manageable.
That sounds much less daunting.
It is, and for strata councils and property managers, this approach is invaluable for predictable budgeting and scheduling across multiple units or maybe several fiscal years. It helps avoid those unexpected emergencies that disrupt everything. And these plans also factor in Vancouver's unique climate challenges, like the prolonged damp seasons, ensuring year-round protection.
We've talked a lot about safety and preventing costly repairs, which is obviously huge. But a well-maintained deck also just looks better, doesn't it? How does consistent inspection and upkeep boost the aesthetics and functionality, turning it back into that really vibrant extension of our home?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
A well-maintained deck not only remains safe and structurally sound, but it looks fantastic. It transforms it from just a functional space into a genuine outdoor oasis. It means the elimination of unsightly stains, rot, and warping, and the consistent maintenance of paint and finishing quality. This directly boosts your property value and undeniable buyer appeal if you ever decide to sell.
Big selling point.
Definitely. Routine upkeep also actively prevents things like discoloration, bubbling, and uneven textures in vinyl or composite decks. But ultimately, it just makes the deck far more enjoyable. Whether you're hosting friends, letting the kids play, or just relaxing with a book, you'll enjoy your space with total peace of mind and, pride.
We briefly touched on multi-unit properties earlier, but it feels like they have particularly specialized needs when it comes to deck maintenance. How do annual inspections and upkeep cater specifically to strata and multi-unit buildings, given their scale?
Yeah, strata buildings truly require expert attention, and regular oversight just because of their sheer size and complexity. I mean, imagine the liability if even a few of dozens of decks in a large property are neglected.
Right, the scale is different.
Totally. So these services help strata councils maintain rigorous compliance with safety codes. They help prioritize and budget for necessary repairs effectively. And critically, they help avoid potential liability and resident complaints.
Keeping everyone happy and safe.
Exactly. Annual inspections help standardize quality and safety across all units, ensuring a consistent approach. And professional teams can often inspect multiple units very efficiently, sometimes in a single day, with minimal tenant disturbance. It ensures a seamless way to keep everyone safe and satisfied across the entire complex.
So bringing in specialists rather than maybe general contractors seems particularly beneficial here, especially given that hyper-local climate knowledge you mentioned.
It's vital, really. Choosing specialists, those who focus 100% on decks, as opposed to general contractors who might just dabble, it usually means faster diagnostics, more effective repairs, and ultimately lasting solutions.
Deeper expertise.
Yes. They're inherently familiar with specific local weather challenges, like Vancouver's unique dampness and sun exposure cycles. Specialists also bring expertise with industry-best waterproof materials, like, say, Duradeck, ensuring quality that lasts.
Specific product knowledge, too.
Right. Creating a proactive strategy with these experts ensures your outdoor space remains safe, durable, and visually appealing all year round. Scheduling inspections during milder weather, aligning upkeep with seasonal transitions, maintaining detailed records for warranties and resale. It's all part of this. Organizing maintenance into an annual routine simply minimizes surprises and helps avoid those costly last-minute repairs. It provides undeniable peace of mind that truly lets you enjoy your deck worry-free.
So what does this all really mean for you listening right now? We've unpacked how regular deck inspection and upkeep is far more than just another chore on the list. It's really a strategic investment in safety and property value and just your overall enjoyment of your home. From identifying those hidden issues like mold and rot that can cost you dearly down the line.
Yeah, the scary stuff.
To understanding the vital, often unseen role of things like caulking and preventing that deep-seated water damage, and even simplifying maintenance for complex multi-unit properties, it's pretty clear that proactive, informed care is absolutely key.
And maybe consider this as a final thought. If your deck is kind of a microcosm of your home's overall health, how does consistent, almost meticulous attention to seemingly small details, like a single loose screw or a slightly worn seam, how does that reflect a larger philosophy of care and foresight in managing your entire living space and, really, your financial investments?
Interesting angle.
And maybe in a world where climate impacts are increasingly being felt, how does proactive, thoughtful maintenance of our outdoor structures become an even more critical aspect of long-term planning and resilience? How does it help ensure our homes aren't just shelters, but actually enduring havens for the future?